Vinny Samantha take 2.
Yay.
Hi, love.
I'm actually happy we get to do it again.
Me too. And I'm happy because, can we discuss it?
Yeah, well, introduce your self first, and then we can discuss.
I would love that. Hi, everybody. I'm Vinny. I own and run VO Aesthetics, which is a skincare center, heaven, in Glendale, California. And Samantha is one of my glow babies. Hi.
Hi, yes, my skin is a product of Vinny's beautiful art.
We actually have a similar glow on the monitor.
Oh yeah, huh? I literally, everybody mentions it like, you're glowing, and I was like, yeah.
Hey.
So what were you gonna say before?
I was gonna say, take 2. Hold on, I wanna
Move this.
or just come closer to me, because I feel like, I guess in the camera where it's like right on. Oh no, it's so close. Hey. 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 Okay, all right.
Uh-oh.
We just changed too much. I asked for too much, and the universe said, "You want to switch? I'll give you a switch."
Is that
That's
okay?
perfect.
Yes. Yes, guys.
Hi.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. You're getting it like the Kermit there.
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh my God, we're getting it on the interference, and this is when your vinyls become a reality.
I found a place that actually still presses vinyls, and I'm 100% serious. Yeah, I forget I know the name. Somebody sent it to me. But yeah, it's like Cupcake or something. I don't know. But they actually press vinyl still.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
I love that. To tap back into what I was saying and to circle back into it, this is our take 2.
Yes.
Which I requested. That was our first time sitting and bearing each other.
Yeah.
And we dove into so much. I mean, we dove into so much spiritually, vibing. But I did say a lot of people's names and people that I've worked with. And we dove so much into them, because even diving into them, we dove into each other a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I just didn't want those names to be public. I didn't want to out anybody.
Yeah.
So
I completely understand.
Yeah. So I was just like, let's save that if I can even have that video, because we exchanged so much. I mean, we dove into frequency work. We dove into, which we could definitely cover, but I just don't. I want to remember to not say names.
Yeah. No, I completely understand. Like, that's, for me, it's a mutual respect of every individual. Like, anybody who comes onto here, like, if anything, like, I'm not like, oh, well, you've done it, like, you're screwed now. Like, no, like, I'm...
This isn't reality television?
No. I want to be a little bit more high-end than that. So, it's... I want it to be fun, and that wouldn't be fun now, would it? If I was just like, oh, fuck you, I'm going to do what I want. Like, this is not cool.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah,
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Literally. When I got your text, I was like... I mean, I wasn't expecting pushback, but I was just, thank you for that.
Yeah, no, it's, you and somebody else was like, hey, can we, or actually I've had 2 other people who wanted to do it again, and I completely, like, I respect it, and I also, like, appreciate it, because then I get to, like, talk to you again, and I get to talk to them again, so it's like, those become actually special to me, because it was just for me. And so then I'm like, oh, like, that's, like, and I feel really special, because I was like, you privileged me to that information, and so, like, I'm like, I got special connection.
We dove in. I mean, we learned a lot about each other.
Yeah.
Like, very intimately.
Yeah.
Literally. I left that. It was a really bad day for me, regardless, but I got to come and escape it with you. But we dove into so much.
Yeah, and you also lost your voice, like, the day prior to that.
Oh my God, I lost my voice, and I had, like, literally, my face had been sabotaged. Yeah, I just got it back yesterday. So
Oh, hey.
there we go. Literally. And it's only been a week, so things are still fresh. But yeah.
So that's good. Yeah, no. Tell a little bit of what you'll be offering at the event.
At the event, I'm going to be doing microdermabrasion, hydrodermabrasion, and red LED therapy. So really quick, like exfoliants to get everyone glowing, and then the red light, because as you know, the red light is a moment, and it's super regenerative, and it's an experience. It's kind of a healing, it's disorienting.
Definitely disorienting.
But yeah, and then people will be like, because it makes your skin wild, so
Yeah.
people will be able to see like the results and stuff, and be happier because it makes your body like release serotonin, because it gives the same effect as like the sun, but without the radiation. So it'll be
wow.
a cute moment.
I didn't know that.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I've learned quite a bit from you. I've also noticed the fine lines that I'm getting, because I'm now getting a little bit older, like that they softened quite a bit just from the 3 times that I've sat with you. I'm just like, oh wow, like I need to keep doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's what's the next thing that you have planned for me?
I really like to think about my protocol, so I haven't even delved into that of what we would do next. But there's always a plethora of all of my clients, including one that's right there. There's never a protocol that's gonna be the same. Everything will be changing based on your skin's needs. But we do have an event coming up, so it's gonna be something. And it's your birthday.
Yeah.
So, something fun. Something fun, but something restorative. Something I love. We need to definitely do an oxygen therapy moment.
What's oxygen therapy?
Oxygen therapy is oxygen, and I have an oxygen machine that dispenses I think it's 95% oxygen, and then I infuse different serums in it, and so it helps the skin heal. Also helps cell death, so the skin dies off, but also renews itself at the same time. And then I infuse different serums in that, really, really yummy ones. And so that's just an aspect into it after we exfoliate, which we're definitely doing hydrodermabrasion every time because your skin reacts so well to it. It's like the octopus kisses.
I love that. Yeah, that's my favorite. It reminds me of also a sea urchin.
We talked about this, and you're like, I just like to stick my fingers into them. I was like, oh, work. Like, this is war. You literally just go into a little, just declare war upon the sea urchins. Anyway, sorry, yes. Literally.
Yeah, no, one of the serums you made, I was actually fasting, and so smells were so vibrant that I really smelled one of the ones that you put together, and I fell in love with that smell. I don't know, and you said it was something you specially put together. It had cucumber and other really gentle smelling. Oh, and then one sold the Smarties, the candies. Yeah, I was like, oh my God.
Yes. I customed literally everything is personalized. But I remember I did custom. That was a seaweed, so an alginate mask mixed with a vitamin C, and then that had that bilberry extract in that. That was so sweet and so yummy, but that's what made it smell like Smarties, because we were trying to put together where I was from, and once you said Smarties, and then traveling with Smarties, and the Smarties moment, and smoking Smarties, I think.
Yeah, it was vape, but some of the vapes have that taste smell to them.
Literally, but yeah. So that was that. I think we infused it. Did we do ultrasound therapy? It was a week ago, so my mind is like.
I don't know if we did ultrasound therapy. That might be something.
We are. I'm slowly going into electrotherapy with you because metal. It ricochets off of metal and around the body. So I never wanted to shock you into it. Literally, people are our bodies can only take so much electricity, and so I only have one person that I've ever done high electricity on and didn't feel it. Wasn't a thing. But yeah.
I kind of want to try it.
I would go very, 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 very light. I have not done it with you yet.
Yeah,
There's very specific reasons.
very light.
Yeah, with you, we've like volted you out though, girl. We made your muscles twitch, and I literally held your cheek muscle, and your cheek went. And I was like, "Do you feel that?" And you were like, "No." I was like, so yes, our friend Tyler is off camera right now.
Yes, Tyler's actually how we met. Thank you.
Tyler is how we met, literally by the grace of Tyler.
Yeah, no, it's the first time I was supposed to come see you, I actually canceled, and I felt really bad, and Tyler was like, I'm not handling this if you're going to cancel. And so then Tyler sent me the link, and he's like, you're doing it yourself this time. And I was like, I'm sorry, I don't usually, it just happened. And so because I don't like to, like, not show up on people, like, that's not, it happens, but I really don't like when it happens. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just try to avoid it at all costs, so that when it really needs to happen, at least I have, like, that birthing room to be like, hey, you know, I'm not going to make it. So at that time, I was just like, shit. I was like, great, first meeting, I'm the one, like, not meeting. And so then I was, like, really determined to meet you the first one. I was like, I'm there, and that's why I texted you. I was like, I'm here early.
Yes, absolutely. And it was, whatever happens is bound to happen.
Yeah.
In every way. Even coming to see you a week ago, and I texted you, I was like, I really needed it. So...
It's therapeutic, actually, like having like this and having conversations with people. It's a lot of fun, and it's very helpful and beneficial. I actually had somebody, Nina, you know Nina? She actually asked me today, like, how is podcasting involved in your event with arts and wellness? And I was like, well, you know, she's like, I don't see how it's connected to, like, you know, the wellness and the arts. And I was like, oh, it's definitely, I was like, mental health is a huge thing, and this is like an art form, and when you be able to talk things out, or you get inspired, or you learn something new about somebody, or you learn that you really love talking to people, like, it literally is all interconnected. I think a lot of people don't actually realize how connecting arts and wellness are. Like, it's, when you involve yourself in art, the mental component to it is quite literally the thing that can, like, help you out of a hole. And so it's definitely just like the beauty aspect. Like, people, when I tell them I'm gonna have you there, and, like, you know, somebody who cuts hair and does blots, they're like, really? And I was like, yeah, when you feel good, like, you're more inspired and you're happier, and then it's like people are creating and communicating, and it elevates the mood, your own mood and everybody else's mood. When you feel good, like, it's to me, that is an art in itself too.
Literally, it's also an energy transfer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no,
people that in the wellness, so
yeah.
Especially since I'm literally touching people.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's. I think we're like, because of all the stuff that's happening, we're kind of timid and scared of, like, oh, someone's gonna, like, touch me, or I'm gonna be near people, and it's like, you know, gently bringing that back into the world, and in a way that's, like, comfortable and loving is super, super important. You know,
Literally.
Yeah, it's. I think people are suffering from mild PTSD at this point.
No, literally coming back into the aesthetic space after, like, the pandemic.
Yeah.
I mean, before the pandemic, people just go right into facials, and then after even developed now, like, so much verbiage with people because of the panic attacks that would happen, like, upon so many. Services. Yeah, I went right into a day spot where I was, like, seeing, like, 6 people a day, which was already a lot of energy transfer. But yeah, like, I 100% can confirm with you that was literally a thing. Like,
wow.
Choke up, anxiety, just, like, crazy. But that's why it's so important, like, to have that good energy transfer, or just, like, good people in the aesthetic space, or good people in wellness.
Yeah.
Because sadly that's not the reality, I feel like, in wellness, which is why when you talked to me about the event, I was like, I've never loved to hear about, like, something that was so pure and so, like, well intended. Then again, I'm from the world of plastic surgery, so none of that's well intended. So it's literally, but yeah, it was a moment, and it is a moment. So yeah, people are definitely still healing from from it. And I'm so lucky that I'm like still here and still able to, and still being able to provide that to people.
Yeah, no, it's super important. I feel that, and a lot of people haven't found those things that inspire them, that light that fire inside of them. You know, there's a lot of people that are just kind of lost. Like we were discussing, I found that video of me 3 years ago where I'm completely like somewhere else. And so like now that I've gained some ground, like I'm like, oh, like I want to be that place where people can come and maybe find that thing that they truly love. Like maybe they come to you and they realize that they love learning about skincare because you're always so informative and it's so helpful. And
Me?
yeah. No, I love when you break things down and you explain like
Nerd
what.
out.
Yeah, I love it. It's because you're really passionate about it. And you love what you're doing, and you know that's what makes a great teacher, right? Is when you go to a class and that teacher's
100.
inspired. It's you then get inspired, you know, whatever it is, you know, to just do that thing you love because it's infectious in a way.
No, literally, even on the red LED conversation, the little old man, Bill. I just got off the phone with him 2 days ago. Yeah, so passionate about doing it right and bringing goodness to skin. Like, came out of the person that made my LED panel that I use for the light therapy that I will be doing at the event. He came out of like 10-year retirement. He's like 60 something, in his late 60s, just to make machines that actually worked. So he works out of his garage, and major corporations and hospitals in this past year are now buying from him. So it's like amazing, but it's just because he was like, okay, let's actually make this work.
Yeah, it's
So for sure.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. And then when you find that thing that you're passionate about, you find other people who are passionate about things. It's like now that I have my passion lit inside of me, like I've now connected with so many other people who are in their passion and like bringing their gifts to this entire thing, and I'm blown away. Like I am truly honored to be, you know, doing this with everybody. It's my dream come true to bring happiness and joy to people, however that is. Like it's, I you know, what helps one person may not help me, but who am I to say it doesn't work? So it's like, I want to offer whatever it is because it brings someone joy and happiness. And I want to continue, I want to remove that barrier, that financial barrier that would stop somebody from, like, let's say, seeing you, like to come and experience that, you know, because someone wouldn't do it, or someone wouldn't do tarot or energy work because, oh, it costs money. But like to remove that barrier, to use the foundation, the art and the content to keep funding that, so that people can be inspired and to do things different that they wouldn't normally do because of costs. Like I'm floored that I have this opportunity to do something so special, and it's actually coming to life. Like I told you, I died almost a few different times trying to do this, and now that it's actually happening, like I'm blessed and honored, truly.
You died a few times.
Yeah, definitely. I have to share the video with you of me like 3 years ago with you, and I'll share it with everybody. You'll see. Like I showed it to my friend Maseo yesterday, and he's like, "The fuck?"
So you mentioned that Maseo angel so many times, and I didn't even. I don't know, but the more now I've heard this person's name, Maseo, you have a really amazing vibrations.
Yes.
And I knew the second you said their name. I literally asked you 10 minutes later, how's Maseo? Are they okay? Yeah. So.
Yeah, no, he's doing great.
Good.
He was here yesterday, and we chatted for like 5 hours. He's like, how do we talk for 5 fucking hours? I was like, I don't know. We just,
it's not really how. It's like, thank you.
Yeah. We enjoy each other. He's a beautiful, beautiful person, and he's literally only 23, and he just inspires.
A baby.
Yeah. And so like.
I mean, I'm 22. Never mind. I'm 21.
So same with you, Tyler. There's a number of young people that remind me that age is literally just a number, and so like I keep that in check, and I'm like, oh, you know, that doesn't matter, because my dad, he still treats me like a child. He's like, oh, you're a kid, and so I'm like, I gotta remember to not do that though to people.
I mean that's the world we live in, is is ageism. Literally, and I 100% can relate. Like when I think I fought my entire career, whether it was makeup or skincare or working with plastic surgeons, I always fought, because I've been doing this since I was 16, like in a sense of being in aesthetics completely. And so it was always a fight with, like, I was always the youngest one in the room. I was always trying to convince and prove myself to people.
Yeah.
And so, and then being male presenting and super queer on top of that. So yeah, I mean, age was always something in my mind. So I agree.
What was it like in the aesthetic, like plastic surgery world?
Interesting. I think the word ego is a word that like just always comes up
Yeah.
in that, especially being in LA. And maybe I was like, if I was in New York, I know this seems different, but for me, being in plastic surgery and also being delivered into that industry again through reality television, I just dealt with like a lot of ego, a lot of like working with the top doctors and just being like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, yeah, but but I love it and I know a lot about it, and I refer like 80% of my clients to some of the old doctors I worked with, and I'm able to refer out to the best that I know, and like that. So that is the best part I got from it. But working in it, yeah, I just dealt with like a lot of ego that I didn't like.
Yeah.
Ooh. And that's kind of why I pushed back and I said, okay, well then I'll go my own route, do my own thing, and I'm gonna make it better, and then work with people that I only want instead of like doing PR for all these for certain doctors. And I was like,
Yeah.
no, yeah, yeah, very that.
Yeah, it's an interesting world because, like, I've had plastic surgery. Like I told you, like the first doctor, I got breast implants, and he put them like up here, and like not. It looked like I had just giant pecs.
Through the armpits?
No, I went through the nipple,
okay.
But he still placed them wrong. This doctor ended up blowing his head off, so he definitely screwed up more people than just myself.
And when I say the industry is full of ego and mental health,
Yeah.
it is. Well, rest in peace, dude. And you were like revisioned. Oh, we talked about this journey.
So I
talked about the titty journey.
Yeah, then I had them removed and redone, and then he tried to fix the nipple, but the nipple was all folded wrong because the guy went up here, so it stretched out in the wrong way.
The cavity stretched, yeah.
Yeah, and so then then they were too big, so I went smaller, and then I was like, you know what, I need these out. My body was like, they're always trying to remove it, so then I ended up just taking them out completely, and so now like, hopefully when I have kids they'll fill up, but right now it's yeah. So right now they're like the way I describe it is like a boy who's fat and then lost weight, and they're just kind of a sad little. Mine are a little more folded down because I have the weird scar here. So like
so it pulls
So it's not ideal. So I'm hoping to just have kids for the rest of my life, so they'll just be full of milk.
The tissue will still,
Yeah.
it'll expand.
Yeah.
I forgot what I was gonna say because we just got a little strip tease right now. But
Yeah.
but yeah. So you kind of been knowing, yeah.
Yeah. It's a weird world, the aesthetics, and the doctors don't just like disclose to you a lot of the potential adverse things that can happen, like sensation loss and numbness, and like it could potentially, like they glance really fast over that, and they're like, oh, you're gonna look better, you're gonna feel great, this is like this, and they don't mention, and they're like, nope, like, oh yeah, it'll be great.
Nerves, lymphatic draining, like how your body's gonna cope, what the recovery time actually is. I just sent out a client, an angel. All of my, I hate saying clients, all of my VO angels. But yeah, I just sent her out. She got a facelift, an endoscopic, and literally, like, did not tell, like, we were the first ones in the office, even, like, day of surgery, which should not have been the thing. Like, we had to wait on people to come in anyways. But, like, she had, like, severe nerve, like, feeling from her entire head. And, like, her mouth dropped a little bit, and it didn't lift, like, as much, like, and I was like, oh my God. And I was like, if you would have just told her the more realistic expectations.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something that happens. I mean, it even happens in aesthetics, as I see a lot of people do like chemical peels and just not brief their clients correctly on how they're going to heal, which I do to another degree. I am always checking in on my people, always making sure if we do anything major. So that's that. And I also think that should maybe come with experience is what I want to say. Like, I think that doctors should learn over time, like from themselves being in clinic, what to brief with their clients. That most of the time they're getting a check. Oh, I'm going to sound bitter right now. But,
no, it's true.
But yeah.
Yeah.
But literally.
It's like thinking about it, like the reason they don't want to say it subconsciously is because they're afraid they're going to lose the potential payout. Right, so that's like they don't want to say that stuff because potentially they might lose me as an option to go into surgery. Because if they did tell me, oh yeah, your nipples could go numb, and potentially they're not going to set in the right place, I'd be like, oh shit, not nip.
You're like, what's the probability of that?
Yeah.
And then can we correct it? And then you could problem shoot before the situation happens.
Yeah. But they rather glance over it and just get you in the office and under the knife, versus caring about my mental state and the bettering of both of us, as like them as a doctor and me as my outcome as the patient. And so like that's the reason I've been trying to be more open about some of the stuff I've been through, because I'm not anti any of it. Like literally I had a tummy tuck and I had the bump removed from my nose. So like
Same.
Yeah, so like for me it's important just to know, like, because I'm so happy I got the bump removed. Like I would do it again. Like, so like there's a win on that one. And the tummy tuck, like I had so much extra skin and the doctor did a beautiful job and really did everything perfectly. And he explained to me like everything I needed to do. So the doctor I found the second time was much better, much more like discussed stuff with me and the potentials. And like he tried to fix my breast and was very much like, I don't know if I can do this, we can try, and explained some of the things that could potentially happen. And he really did his best to have the best possible outcome and really helped me a lot. And so like I think there's benefits, but also like doctors need to be more open about the other stuff that happens so they can become better doctors, if you don't discuss it.
I think it's an experience thing as well with that, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
So.
And also, I'm going to need that contact information if I can.
Quit. I know.
Yeah. Literally.
Yeah. I got his message when he was like ending his practice. And I was like, oh shoot, like you were good at what you did. Like, why are you going? I was like, you're not old.
This would pay me his money, and he was just over it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the best ones go. Like the best ones go.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, no, it's his scar. I've gotten many compliments from doctors. Like, wow, the scar here.
I can already tell.
You can see. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? Look at that guy.
So he did this?
Yes.
None of his assistants?
No, he did that. Look at that fucking thing.
The suturing's perfect.
Yeah. My lighter. Yeah.
Oh my God, did you do any revision healing for the scar? Or
No.
That's just how it healed?
That's just how it healed.
Oh shit. Amazing. One of my SD bestie, she does scar revision. So yeah, I was like, wait a second.
No, that's
Beautiful
straight
healing.
out the gate.
Amazing.
But I saw somebody else's tummy tuck on social media, and I was just like, I was like, holy fuck. Like
Frankenstein moment.
I felt for her because this experience. So then I was just like, oh, like it's harsh. Like, and so like that's like I'm like, oh, like and it's when you do those things, like you've done those things, so you can't place that skin back in there and go backwards. Like once it's done, you're good. Like, it's over.
Yeah. And you've spent the money, and it's like, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But it's only up from here. I mean, but we need better doctors in the practice for sure. But T.
Yeah. I guess I could give his name. His name is Grant Stevens. Thank you.
Grant Stevens, come back. Is he in LA? Was he in LA?
In Marina Del Rey.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. And so he was an epic doctor. I found him through somebody that worked for my dad, because I told her I wanted to get a tummy tuck because I had all this extra skin. And she was like, oh, I know the perfect person. And so like I went there and I was like, oh, this guy, like he was so thorough and so like very meticulous, and you could tell by his suturing how meticulous this individual was. And you want when you're doing aesthetics, you want someone detail oriented.
You want someone that treats it like an art, not someone that treats it like they got taught in school 20 years ago.
Yeah. But what's funny is the one who recommended for my breast implants, my mom found him, and I didn't do my own research. I just trusted my mother. I know, right?
Yeah.
I love you, Mom. Like, this is still my decision. But yeah, I was like, after that, I was like, okay, Samantha, even if it's a loved one that recommends it, do your own research and do your own like looking and comparing and like finding out and really paying attention and asking the right questions.
Yeah.
Like I learned that.
Literally. And I always ask about aftercare and stuff. We just went down the plastic surgery adventure. But yeah, no, that's why Like, I know the person that I sent that client to, like, he's like one of the best.
Yeah.
So I was pissed. Yeah. But learning lesson, do better.
Yeah. It is definitely a learning lesson. I think, for a while, I thought maybe when I got older, I would do some sort of like plastic surgery. Like when I was younger, I thought that I would potentially do that. And now after my experiences, I was like, no, it's going to be more holistic, more like aesthetic kind of like red light therapies, the skin stuff that you do. Because it's just, to me, there's too many options where it could potentially go south that I don't want to have happen to my face.
I totally hear that.
Yeah. So it's I'm traumatized from my experience wholeheartedly. Like I'm just like, yeah, nope. Nope.
God. Yeah, I mean, Bill, the guy that made my red LED panel, he now makes full on beds that you can store and bring back.
I want one.
Yeah, he's coming. He said he's gonna come to VO sometime soon. He's in the Bay Area, so I just said bring every device you've like trickled with and like made. I was like, let's just go to town. So yeah, we're both gonna nerd out for an entire day probably.
That's gonna be amazing.
I love that, man.
Yeah, I love the red light therapy. That's a spaceship though.
It is a spaceship. Literally.
Yeah.
No, I love it. I'm like holding back from geeking out about it, but yeah, I'm absolutely obsessed.
You gotta geek out about it. Tell more about it.
I gotta geek out about it. It's just the way that he like did like the lights, and because I've worked in plastic surgery, so like I've like been through like oxygen hyperbaric chambers and red LED, and I never saw like a result in it. And in skin, I've never seen a result. I've people sell these like $3,000, $10,000, $15,000, $45,000 lights, and I literally have seen them lead the light and be like, what the actual fuck just did not fucking happen. And then I went to this spa, my last spa that I ever worked at, and it's called illuminated LED, and so we used those, and I was like, oh, like cystic acne, like just would like kind of like almost like de-inflame, like, and so I was just like, holy shit. So I immediately found this guy, and I was like, make me lights. And then make me a green light and make me other, but I will not do blue. But
why not blue?
Blue, we just talked about it, me and him, for like, we had a moment. But blue actually sends like signals to the brain that you're in danger. It's disorienting. You can't put blue light on dark skin, dark or black skin. You can't do it. It'll actually burn them. It has the potency to burn them. Yeah, the wavelength is just kind of violent on skin. Yeah. Yeah, it's a no-go. I don't know why. LED, like a lot of LED companies, like the top ones do red, blue mixed, and they don't do it appropriately, and the lights aren't put there. You have like spotting and no, so it's just it's bad news bears, but it doesn't even do anything at that point. But anyways, if you do it correctly, it can injure the skin and can injure the eyes. So if we do red light, a lot of people at VO, they don't even use goggles because some people feels like it helps their eyes, even though I can't say that yet. But new FDA testing to be done the next 2 years. But it's definitely a moment. And yeah, and my machine reaches about like, I think it's 5,000 joules of light in 5 minutes, which is why we complete treatment in 5 minutes. So super, super effective. And I'm still nerding out. I'm closing it. But yeah, I am obsessed. Anywho, but that's why aesthetics, good people in aesthetics and good equipment means so much to me, and good products and this whole skin journey and accessibility to it. Because I know for sure when I was like first in LA, there was no way I couldn't even afford a facial or anything. So I'm excited for this.
Yeah. What's another one of the favorite things that you offer or do or love in your skin regime?
Another thing that I offer into my thing, I like lymphatic drainage. I'm a really big fan of that, which is basically like cupping for the face in a sense, but I have a machine that like it sucks it out in the best, most juiciest way. And it's really popular in LA, lymphatic drainage in general with gua sha. People are obsessed with it. We talked about this last time.
Yeah, you did a little bit for me on last time.
Yeah. Oh, we did the cupping. We did a little lymphatic with the tubes. And yes, we did. And so I looked into it, and I used to do gua sha at my old spa years ago, and then I was like, oh, but I don't feel the results. I'm not seeing tightness. I'm not seeing like any kind of like drainage correctly in the skin. And then I saw this older white Russian esthetician in Beverly Hills doing it for $550. This cupping method, and I was like, fuck no, I'm gonna do this, but I'm just gonna do it as an add-on, and I'm not gonna tell anyone. I'm just gonna add it in and just like let them soak it up. That's like half of my aesthetics little things, is like, how do I make this accessible, literally. So I did it. And it's so juicy. It really does, like, in the right pattern of like lymph drainage, we really can get in there and take all the excess lymph out of the face, suck it up, bring it down. If it doesn't like the juiciest kind of way. I'm obsessed, literally. Like it goes boom, boom, boom. I love it because it goes also in the like a very specific rhythm for just for your face. So
really? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So what's the theory behind the specific rhythm?
Oh, I have no idea. I haven't geeked out into that yet.
Oh, well, now you have something else.
I have yet to learn about this rhythm, but because my machine has different rhythms for different parts of the body. And I have yet to even nerd out into that, but to be discovered. Dun, dun.
Yeah, I want to do the body lymphatic drainage. That would be something that I would love to try out. I think I did one lymphatic drainage massage.
Was it violent or was it smooth?
It was smooth. She did a good job.
Amazing.
Yeah.
She did it right.
Yeah. And she was actually one who taught me. She's like, you need to be careful if you ever do deep tissue massage because you have metal in your back. And nobody had ever told me that. And I was like, holy shit, that's right. Like I do have to be careful.
Literally.
Yeah. And so she's like, yeah, you can't press down on the metal. And she's like, so, some massage therapists don't know that. So she's like, I want to let you know, like, to not do that. And I was like, I was using that foam roller and just jamming. And so when she was telling me this, I was like, oh. And so I stopped doing that. Like, this is probably a good idea.
I mean, it's a mom.
Yeah, I've had a few of those.
Gee.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Anything else that you would like to share?
I mean, anything. I mean, frequency work. We've talked about that in great detail. We can dive into it a little bit.
Yeah. All right. I wasn't sure because I remember we mentioned, and I was like.
Yeah, we could do it a little bit. Yeah. I don't want. Yeah. I was like, because I don't ever talk about spirituality. It's something so sacred to me. And then, because people want to downplay it so quick, or not downplay it, just call people crazy.
Yes.
And I've always struggled with that, being so sensitive to like every energy possible. Yeah. So when we first talked about it, and you were like, how did you not hear the frequencies in this room? Or like, what did you mean by that? Yeah. And I was like, oh no, I just talked about like my realest, like most sacred truth. And I've talked about so many things on television and live television and national television. I talked about my genitals and sexual reassignment surgery and all these crazy things. But when it comes down to like spirituality and something that I hold so in depth to my heart, things that get me through, which is why being in that room, I was like, whoa, it just like, I don't need it in this space. I don't I don't need to protect myself, or I don't need to feel like I need to just like be a crazy spiritual little lady. I was like, oh shit. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's funny. I brought somebody into that room today, and they mentioned the silence in there. They're like, they actually got a little bit uncomfortable with how empty because there was no sounds bouncing back, and like this guy got visibly like a little bit like, oh, and then he kind of settled into it, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like for me, it's that room is it's just an interesting experience being in that room. But I remember the first time we met. That like you told me about some of the stuff I was doing, and I actually apologized too because I did. I was like, oh fuck, like I didn't mean to. I had drank that mushroom coffee, and so I was kind of like a little bit.
The mushroom coffee that I still to this day. Everybody watching this, sorry, can I interject?
Yeah.
So mushroom coffee is not psilocybin mushrooms. It is not crazy mushrooms. I learned this the hard way. I like sourced out. Allegedly, magic mushrooms and correct like this capsule that was all shredded up, and I drank coffee one day. Do not do that. The mushrooms that everyone is drinking right now in coffee is adaptogenic, and you can receive these mushrooms at your local grocery store, but don't get it from your local grocery store. Get it from a place that actually like sells
Erewhon,
someone that actually sources it out like really well. Okay, so you had mushrooms, and then
it was just since you're very sensitive and I'm very sensitive, like I immediately picked up on that, and you kind of took me to a depth inside of myself that most people don't go.
I'm so sorry.
No, it was good. Since I was on caffeine mixed with mushrooms, like hitting the anxiety and panic wall is so close because you're flying like this right next to like, oh fuck, versus, oh, this is kind of cool, like we're going deep. But like, oh fuck, is like right here, and so I was just like,
oh fuck,
okay,
is right.
Yeah. And so like you were literally taking me so close to that, I was like, oh wow, this person's deep, like because if you're able to go with me to that place, like it's an intense place because that's where I like the trauma of my experience is like it took me to. And so it's like going there, I was just like, oh, okay. And then with the red light thing, I was like, holy shit. I was like,
disoriented.
And so I was just like, I'm very good at like keeping, like, okay, just breathe, relax. Yeah. And so I was like, I remember you said like, oh, I didn't shoot my energy out at you. And so I remember you saying that, and I was like, yeah, all right, cool. I was like, just focus.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, that was quite the experience, and I really enjoyed having that experience with you. The first time, I was like, oh, like I like this person. And so now that I've gotten to know you a bit more and learn a lot about you, I'm thoroughly excited about like just getting to know you more and share those experiences with you. So yeah.
Same, absolutely. And yeah, I wasn't used to it when that happened. Well, it's happened before when people tap in, but it's not a VO. So I was like, not in this space. So I took you for a little journey. Some people will say telepathically. Some people will just say the vibes.
Yeah.
I switched up the vibes without saying much, and or anything, and and for sure. And for sure. And you actually added to what we didn't talk about last time, and you said that I brought you to a place a dark place you've been to before.
Yeah.
And I met you there. And yeah. Yeah, I didn't know that. That's a ride.
Yeah, it was from the Costa Rica experience. Like
I took you. Oh my god.
Well, it's no, in the best way. Like it's because it's a place that like I am scared because I won't come out of it, but every time I do, and so like going there with you was like a gentle reminder. I was like, oh no, I'm fine. Like and so it's like it actually makes it safe instead of that scary place. But it was like I would not have explored that had I not been in a relationship with you, had I not known that I was actually still quite scared of it. And so like for me going there, I was just like, oh no, like it's not something to be scared of. Like this person's helping me see the depth of who I am. and being able to go there and not be scared of it, but as like I can go on this journey with different people in different ways and experience others in ways that I didn't even know was possible. And so like you really helped me quite a bit.
I was like, that sounds actually healing.
Yeah, extremely. Yeah.
Okay, well that's better than I was thinking.
Yeah.
I was like, did I take you there? Like, I'm so sorry.
No, in the most amazing like way possible. Like that's I was talking to my friend about like being in a relationship with others. If I was just in a relationship to myself, I would not have known that I still was trying to cover that and hide that and not go there and was still scared of it. Where you took me and I was just like, oh, like it's just so it's now a place inside of me that I can visit with someone else versus this scary place that I was scared to go had I not known you and experienced it with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel like you did that with me our first podcast.
Oh.
So,
yeah.
touche. Yeah, we went to like dark ass places with me, and I was like, huh. Then I got back in my car, and I was like, I'll deal with everything that happened this morning. But I was like, I just went through like a lot of the trauma in the past 3 years with you, and I'm in my car, and I'm in LA. Yeah. And I was like, and this is just, not it's just, it's like, I was like, and I am here, whatever here is.
Yeah, I don't know what here is. This is an interesting place, and it's wild. It's not easy. Life is very challenging, and I realized that when I was really isolated, that like it's protecting me from experience life, but then I don't actually experience anything. And so like, you know, I've been pushing myself to get outside of my comfort zone, outside of my bubble, and outside of like connecting. And I realized that like the thing I was most scared of was actually the thing I'm most passionate about, which is actually connecting with people and on a deep, like intrinsic level, like, and being able to communicate and talk about anything and everything, and also being like respectful of other people, because I was totally disrespectful of everyone, including myself, for many, many years, and like was like, oh fuck it. Like even Tyler got a recent taste where I was like, no, I'm not moving. And so I'm like, oh, there's that disrespectful. It's like, oh no. And that's why when we were talking, I was like, no, whatever time you need, like, you know, take it for the event. And I was like, yeah, like that was an old like thing of like, it's my way or the highway. And I was like, well, that's not how you create with people. That's how you alienate yourself.
Create and collab, literally. So by doing others, so by stepping out of your comfort zone. So in modern day psychology, we call that you're doing opposite action.
I didn't know that.
You're taking out of your cycle, and you are. I mean, I like how you stated earlier with Tyler. You were like, I don't know what anything is. The same, but to break it down to people that are listening, so you're doing opposite action, and letting yourself have it, like just letting yourself have life.
Yeah.
Amazing. Same. I think I have to do that for VO, like all the time, because I am a hermit.
Yeah.
Like I've lived in LA for like 12 years, and for the most time I just like didn't go out, I didn't leave, I didn't do anything, I would never go to any club or like outing or anything. And then I just was like, something has to change, so I started going out in like 10-minute increments just to like absorb energy, just to like be in crowds of people. And the effects it can have are great. And but now I do it with VO, and I do it with every new client that comes in, and I can do it where I can actually swallow it and not be bombarded by ego or my own ego to push myself away from people. So I love that.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what makes you so talented at what you do, is that you put yourself aside and really want the best for the entire relationship between you and the angel, as you say, in front of you. And I feel that, like, you were the first person to ever do a facial for me, and you are like the only person I ever want to see. So it's like, the door is closed, like, I found the one. So yeah, no, it's you really love what you do, and it speaks volumes to the work. Like I look at my skin and I'm like, holy shit, my fucking skin looks amazing. And you do each person differently. You know, you don't just this is this. You like, you look at that person, you look at what's going on, and you want to do what's best for them.
Literally.
You know? And that is important, and that's, you know, it's you're an artist.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
We did it.
Yeah. So, yeah. So anything else?
I mean, that pretty much wraps it up. But you can definitely, so I'll definitely be at the event on the 16th? 17th.
Yeah.
It was one day switched around. Yeah, I will be there on the 17th via Aesthetics, and I can't wait. I can't wait just to be there with you.
Yeah. I mean, I'm so excited.
Like, you're gonna be doing a lot that day.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to just see your essence just kind of go through everybody.
Yeah.
Because we do have like a similar tandem energy that's like, we do like to be in our own world.
Yeah.
So.
I definitely like my bubble, but it's definitely good to pop the bubble from time to time and reinflate it, and then pop it again and reinflate it. So yeah, thank you so much. This was an amazing conversation once again. So I'm so happy. We'll do it again.
Oh yes, we will. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right.